So how good is Thassas Oracle and Consult? Well, that's what we're gonna try to answer in this video. So I'm continuously calculating data from this website. And we have some recent tournaments, Chaos, Lightspeed, and this one as well. And from those tournaments we can calculate win rate, but also we can look at the deck lists and see what cards are playing and what win rates those decks with various cards are generating. So what you have just above my head, total decks, are the total amount of all decks that I have gathered and calculated data on from various tournaments. What you see over there are Demonic Consultation, Tainted Pact, and Thassas Oracle. And we have 2,172 decks that play all free. Kinda half of the entire population, a little bit less than half. But then we have the win rate in green on top, 24.15. That is the average win rate generated by all of those 2,172 decks together. Below that in red we have win rate without cards, so basically decks that maybe just contain 1, 2, but don't contain all 3. They have an average win rate together of 21.31. So what we've basically done here is that we have taken the entire population of all the tournament decks that I have and then split them into 2 different groups and then compare the win rate between groups. And as you can see here where the arrow is pointing, there is an improvement in the group containing Thassas Oracle and the Consult basically. And this is where the entire video could basically end, in theory. But that would be very irresponsible of me. Because there are more things we kinda need to answer here, and also there are more things we could learn here. Because what if Dimir is the reason why Thassas Oracle is actually performing really well? You see, it's not just the combo that is key in the victory of versus commanders, it's the commander itself, but also the colors. And what if blue-black are just amazing? So we have 181 tournament entries in the Dimir colors, and those together are generating a win rate of 21.11, which is weaker compared to the win rate of Thassas Consult. We can then back this up by looking at decks that are containing all 4 elements of Consult, the Tainted Pact, Thassas, and the color of Dimir. And that is generating a total of 21.45 average win rate, and suddenly the color is in red. In other words, Dimir is lacking. So let's try and add more colors. Let's add red. So Grixis has a total of 376 tournament entries of Grixis colors, commanders on the Grixis colors, and they have an average win rate together as a collective of 24.12. So if we start adding more cards to this, for example, suddenly we are looking at Demonic Consultation, Tainted Pact, Thassas Oracle, and Annual Breach. We have 1,288 decks playing all 3, and they are generating now an amazing 25.48 average win rate. And when you don't contain these cards, the win rate without cards is 21.42. So now we're starting to get a better picture. We can even look in more detail, for example Adnos, Consult, Dockside, Tainted Pact, and Thassas Oracle, and we're still seeing a pretty good result. So a small conclusion is, it's good with other combos. Or a conclusion could also be add red to it. But there are more angles that we can take a look at to get a better perspective of this card's power level. Here we have a different kind of calculation. Now we're looking at Thassas Oracle when we are also excluding Tainted Pact, in this case Demonic Consultation, and Tainted Pact. We're basically looking at decks that don't contain black. Here we have such an example. Here we have Thassas Oracle inside Simic Kinnan. We can't include Tainted Pact or Consult, so the basic idea is to generate infinite mana with Kinnan, activate him infinitely, find Thrasius, activate Thrasius infinitely, and draw into Oracle, cast Oracle, and win the game. So Thassas Oracle is basically the finisher, the outlet from the infinite activation and infinite mana. And I've been so against that for such a long time. I don't think that Thassas Oracle is good outside the color of black, and here we have some showcase of that being true. The conclusion is basically that these cards are more or less bad on their own, they are only good together. The same is also true for Tainted Pact. It's actually having a little bit better win rate, so it's kinda 22% in average, more or less, but still not so good. You're basically looking at decks that are on Rakdos, Mono Black, decks that wanna have more tutors, like Tainted Pact is a tutor of sorts, but you don't have access to blue. But there are more things we should also look at, for example, how you might be able to supplement the Thassas Consult combo with other combos synergizing perfectly with it. The typical example here is Hermit Druid. Now we don't have that many decks that are actually playing that. By the way, play all three is a typo, that should be play both. So Hermit Druid and Thassas Oracle together in the same deck, we have 64 decks playing both together, and they get an average win rate of 24.04. So it's not that bad. Normally when you're playing Hermit Druid, you're also including Fate Stitcher and Narco Miba. However, according to, we don't have that huge sample size, and the result is not even statistically significant because we only have like 13 samples here. So yeah, we can't trust the win rate. But also when people aren't playing something that much, it's indicating that people are opting away from that strategy. So the suggestion here is that if you want to go for Hermit Druid and Thassas Oracle, you probably shouldn't include Fate Stitcher and Narcomoeba. I have also taken a look at Cephalid Illusionist and Nomads and Core. For those that don't know, those two cards together will perform an infinite mill more or less. Whenever Cephalid Illusionist becomes a target of a spell or ability, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. And Nomads and Core reads for 0 mana, redirect 1 damage from Nomads and Core to a creature you control. So from here, you can basically generate infinite Cephalid Illusionist trigger and mill out your entire deck, basically putting Thassas Oracle into the graveyard. But once again, the sample size is extremely low and the win rate is also really low, so it doesn't look like it's recommended. Not working that well, basically. It's usually Tymna and Thrasius that is playing this. But there are more strange ideas that you can have, for example Sacred Guide. It's a 1 mana 1/1, sacrifice Sacred Guide for white and generic, reveal cards from your library until you reveal a white card, put that card into your hand, remove all other revealed cards from the game. This is basically a consult if your deck doesn't include any other white cards in it. So here you have a deck construction demand, no white cards whatsoever. So you have to have the white colored entity, but no white cards in it. Which would ultimately mean no Esper Sentinel. And that is why, more or less, that's not that good, as you can see here. Only 15 decks have played all of these 4 cards together, and they are receiving an average win rate of 16.67. which is kinda bad. So what is the actual final verdict for this? Like, how good is Thassas Oracle actually? I would personally argue that the answer is some form of Grixis, or some variation of that. A combo isn't good on its own, you need other cards in there to supplement and make that combo perform. A takeaway could be that Thassas Consult shouldn't be your plan A. Instead, your plan A should be a form of assembler, either Pier, Adnos, Bolas or Underworld Breach of sorts to get that combo into effect. But if you draw into it, then just tutor for the other piece and you have it. But I think it's clear that it's not performing great on its own. One more key thing I would like to show you guys. If you're a patron of mine, if you go to my Discord server with $3 or more each month, you can find and see this page here, Thassas Consult and Data. And in here I am continuously updating the pictures you've seen, but also there are a few pictures in here that I didn't showcase in the video, for example that one with Laboratory Maniac and Thassas Consult, because there's a lot of different things that I take a look at to find a good conclusion to draw from all of this, but I only showcase the things that are worth talking about. But if you watch this from a year in the future, you will be able to see the updates that have been made, the changes that have happened as I have calculated more and more decks from various tournaments. But what do you think? Now, data and statistics isn't everything. Player experience is important as well. Because in general, the statistics and data that we're finding is only changing the win rate by like 1 to 2%. So there is a lot more going on. And I do hear a lot of comments about please ban Thassas Oracle and such. But is it truly that busted? It's usually the finisher, the thing that is actually ending the actual game. But it's not always the pathway there. You see, the pathway, how you get to your finisher, and the actual finisher isn't truly the same. The journey is getting there, and I think decks that are utilizing this combo the best are decks that are good in figuring out how they are going to assemble it in an efficient way. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and take care, guys.